You're listening to Radio on Fire, the voice of urban America. Streaming worldwide at radioonfire.com/live. On Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Radio on Fire or DJ Diamond K. It's the Radio on Fire News Network. Now, let's get back to the show.
Steve directly dialing 404-436-1277. All right.
Welcome to the Connected Corner.
The Connected Corner.
With news and resources
you can actually use. We're so excited. I'm your girl, Tori Rose, and
Kiana B. Jones.
Hey, girl. How's it going?
That's good.
I know. We're so excited. So, guys, we are not going to spend a bunch of time talking because we have an amazing guest who is like a quiet storm, but we're going to make him talk. And actually, he's a Virgo, so he might talk a lot. So, if he gets out of... You don't know what's going to happen with a Virgo. So, we're going to talk about Christmas cooking, recipes, holiday faux pas. If you guys want to drop your comments below, you sure can. Mm-hmm. We love pineapple upside down cake.
Yeah.
Tell me how you make it. Any disasters? My very first pineapple upside down cake ended up not being upside down. So let's talk about it. The number here is 404
436
1277. All right. So anything else we want to share before we bring our guest?
We want to let you guys know that we are not going to have a show next week.
Not going to have a show next week.
It's Christmas Eve.
It's Christmas Eve.
Yeah. So we're going to do Christmas Eve stuff.
I'm excited.
And we won't be here Christmas Eve. However, we will have our show on New Year's Eve.
New Year's
Eve.
So
we're going to have a in-studio pre-New Year's Eve party.
And we're going to count down. And so if anybody wants the address that's in Baltimore and wants the address to the studio,
we're going to pregame. We're going to pregame for New Year's Eve.
Which means we're just going to have apple juice. But anyway, you can come in through with us. And we're going to have some fun guests today, right?
Yeah.
Are the Bourbon Boys coming?
Yes, they are.
Oh, we're going to have these awesome and amazing guys. And they have their own podcast called Bourbon and Boy Shorts.
Yes.
And so they actually drink bourbon on their show. They're really cool.
And they bringing some bourbon with them.
Bringing bourbon with them. Mm-hmm. I'll be having water. But nonetheless, we're going to have a good old time. So I want to just give a shout out to my water to yourself. Jesus was a spring of living water. It ain't going to be that type of show. But we're going to have a great, great time. I want to give a shout out to all of the parents that are out here just doing the daggone thing. Yes. Christmas time can be stressful. It can be hard for some of us. But guess what, guys? You are staying encouraged. You are staying focused on family. You are awesome. And we love you and we thank you for your spirit. I also want to give a shout out to my family because my grandparents were married on Christmas. And even though they both deceased, we try our best to stay as family oriented for Christmas as possible. So
happy anniversary. Is that
thank you.
Like a cough drop?
That smell like a cough drop.
I was like,
you wasn't supposed to tell everybody.
I was like, what?
Okay, so let's get ready. It's cherry. So let's get ready to hear from our guests. Okay. Guys, help us. We won't have a song tonight because I messed the song up last week. So let's just have Steve Williams come on down to the stage. Welcome. I'm banned from the song.
Okay,
I was good with it.
Nipsey Hussle or Young Jeezy or something.
I mean something, but I messed up so bad last week that I had to take a bye week. So we have the amazing Steve Williams. Can we see him? Help us a little bit.
Is it the angle or is it the flash? I need some more flash.
Don't
You
see
said,
that.
Yeah,
We can
is that
see
right
him.
there?
That is him right there.
Can y'all see him?
All right, cool. I think it's the mic. Let me see if I move it this
Kelly
way.
Boy said, "Hey fam."
Hey, I'm trying to figure out because I want to be able to hear you. Up? I don't know. Is that better? Now it's right in the middle of you.
It's fine.
Want the
They
mic?
can,
sure?
they can hear me, right? It's fine.
And so you guys can see the whole panel.
Yes.
Look at the www.radioonfire.com/live. So watching us on the platform means you get to see everybody in every angle. So welcome, Steve-O.
I appreciate you having
Can
me.
we call you that?
Of course. That's
I'm
my
gonna
name.
call you that anyway.
That's my name.
I've been calling you that since I was a little girl. You know, you're like 20 years older than me.
I don't think I'm that much older.
She
A couple
always
years
trying-
older, but not
right.
20.
Like she always
I
trying
met
to
you
tell people.
first at Bowie State University. Even though you did not remember me, I remembered you.
Oh, so you met me, I ain't meet you.
Something like that. You know, he was an upperclassman. You know how that goes. From Baltimore,
Right.
on his way back. He had a little car. You know, he was
Studious.
driving.
Studying.
Whatever. He
Studious.
was like this, focused. Yeah.
Well, that's good. I was focused in college too.
Did you enjoy Bowie?
You know, I don't think I did Bowie the way I should have. I was focused on getting back to Baltimore, working, hanging out with friends, but I got it done. So I didn't really get the college experience.
Yeah, I
Stayed on
understand.
campus the first year, and then it was all work after that.
Were you cooking then?
I was not cooking then.
You would have been proud of us. We had a little cooking club.
Yeah?
So I used to shampoo hair and do perms.
Okay.
And so I was the chick on campus
you
that.
cooking hair.
Well, no, I was doing
Yeah,
that.
that's
I was
what
doing
it
that.
sound like.
But then the money started getting slow because,
Okay.
you know, girls go home, they get their rebate checks, they get braids, you know, that kind of
Yeah.
thing, right? And so we started making sandwiches. And so we had like the hot sandwich or the cold sandwich variety. It was like ham, cheese. It was like the hookup.
You
And
calling
then,
that cooking? Or what?
well, we were cooking.
Okay.
We was
At
cooking
college,
it
I
in
guess that's
college.
the cooking.
It was cooking. It was fresh to
Cooking in
order.
college.
Okay.
So you get a turkey BLT, turkey melt, or a ham and cheese melt.
All right.
Yo, you know how cold it used to be on campus to get a melt?
All right. I believe
They
you.
was
I
calling
have
me Birdman. I was like, bro. It was awesome.
to. Sandwiches. All right.
Sandwiches.
Okay.
And then we started making Baltimore hookups.
What's that?
The oodles and noodles.
Oh, what you had? Hot dogs or something? in it?
Nah,
Hot-
tuna,
Tuna.
cheese, and egg. Y'all know about the hookup? Anybody know about the hookup?
Who knows
Yes,
about the
Steve, it's
hookup?
phenomenal. Say hi to the people.
What's happening? Who's that?
That was
Kelly.
Kelly.
Hey,
Jordan.
what's happening, Kelly?
So that was my first real like experience cooking on campus. Did you cook on campus at all?
I mean, we did. You know, we had the little 2-burner stove electric thing going on, so we cooked a lot of oodles and noodles.
Facts. Were you chefing it up?
No.
Oh my goodness.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, let me tell the world why I'm asking
Drinking
these
and
questions.
eating. That's what we. you know,
Drinking water
Yeah.
and eating food. So I'm telling the world.
Stop! Everybody don't drink water.
We
We don't have to.
It's really Kool-Aid. So the reason that we are talking about food is because you are now a very well-to-do, very well-known chef. You call yourself a chef?
I don't. I call myself a cook.
A
I'm
cook.
kind of self-taught.
Oh.
I'm more of a business person than I am a chef. So
Okay.
I'm just using.
I've eaten your food. It's chef-like.
All right. Well,
Chef-like.
I'm using the food as a platform to do a few other things.
Tell us about that. How'd you get from there to making your oodles and noodles on campus to where you are today?
You know, so I always had a passion for cooking, though I didn't necessarily do it on campus. You know, I grew up in the kitchen around my mother, my grandmother. So back then, you saw people produce real food. It wasn't like the microwave era, right?
Yeah.
Grandma got fresh greens in the sink. You can't do nothing else but wash the greens so that you can get to
Right.
whatever else you're trying to do. So
Facts. And you better not wash your hands over her greens.
no, not
oh,
at
baby.
all. Not at all. So I mean, the love of food is something that, you know, has always been in me. After Bowie, I came home and went to the University of Baltimore, got my MBA.
Oh, wow.
So
Oh, girl, he is educated. Over.
you know, in that it was, you know, if I ever start a business, it would have to be something I was passionate about. So you know, I've spent a long time working for different organizations and that type of thing, moving up ladders and figuring out that the rungs on the ladder never stop.
Right.
So you know, getting in that process, just learning more about myself, having kids, and you know,
And how many kids do you have?
two.
And
Two.
shout out to the kids,
Yep.
and shout out to Tiffany and
Absolutely.
everybody.
Yep. So that you know, that's kind of what encouraged me and motivated me to kind of do my own thing. Is just, you know, what's important to me, especially in this season that I call it, of having a kid in high school, having a kid in elementary school,
Ooh, child.
and what that looks
like
like.
me.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I like to pull up on my youngest, you know, during the week and spend a couple hours in her class and that type of thing.
How old is she?
She's 6.
She's so cute too. We saw her at the Fred Feast. She's
Right.
a personality all in herself.
Yep. So I mean, just kind of having that flexibility, you know, to be able to do what I need to do on my terms is what kind of drove me into business. And since cooking is something I'm passionate about, that's what I chose.
Well, we can certainly understand being driven into business.
Amen.
And having a passion for something. I think that your passion shows in what you do. We have, as Tori said, gotten an opportunity to taste your food
Over and over and over
over
again.
and over on
That's
several
delicious.
occasions. We thank you for partnering with us in the community events that we've done with Feeding the Homeless and providing turkeys and food and wrapped asparagus. Anyway, I'm getting hungry. So,
Right, I was gonna say you got food in your pocket.
right, you got food, you know.
I was supposed to have checked you for security check.
See if he had food in his pocket. So we do appreciate your partnership
Yes,
with
thank you
Beehive
so much.
Connected Group as well. But also with that, you have taken on some philanthropy yourself with KTW Cares. Can you tell us a little bit about your nonprofit side of
Absolutely.
KTW Catering?
And also, where's our hat?
Yeah, you just say I'm like iron the
Iron
hat.
the
That's
hat.
a nice hat.
So packages, I'm gonna send packages.
Facts.
Okay,
Thank
okay,
you.
thank you,
so much.
thank
I
you,
want
thank
mine wrapped in cheetah print paper. But anyway, go ahead.
I mean, you know, for me, again, you know, I felt the responsibility is if I was going to have a business to use that platform to do bigger and more things. So of course, giving back, you know, what has been important to me from the beginning, but just having the resources to do it is, you know, kind of how I've had to build up to be in that position. So in 2019, me and my wife Tiffany, as well as some good friends we've had, we started KTW Cares, a 501c3 nonprofit. It's focused on community and closing gaps. So far, and as far as programming, we've run a literacy program called Words Matter, as well as we had a week-long cooking camp, kids cooking camp over the summertime. So, you know, the cooking camp, for example, it's not just about, hey, get in here and learn how to make a dish. We covered everything from budgeting to sourcing to, you know, healthy preparation and that type of thing. So it's kind of just trying to give kids early on, you know, what it feels like and what it looks like. I believe that cooking is a life skill, a life skill that could be translated into a career if people, you know, choose to go that route.
Awesome.
But something that's really big and coming down the pipe for us is kind of our next venture within KTW Cares, and that's our clothing closet. So Tiffany, my wife, started at Patterson High School, where she's the assistant principal. What we know is some attendance issues are related to clothing. We know kids, you know, sometimes don't go to school because they don't have what they feel is the appropriate attire to show up, and bullying and those type of things. I also feel passionate about gentlemen who serve time and come home and they're ready for another opportunity but don't have that suit and tie, shirt and slacks, nice pair of shoes to wear on that interview to present themselves in a way, not to just get a job, but to get a job that can provide them a living wage. And then kind of the third demographic that we think about within this program are women who may have thrown clothes in a trash bag for them and their kids to escape some type of abusive relationship. So they've left everything behind, and they're kind of starting over. So, I mean, it's bad enough the situation that they were living in, and now have to go out into the world and not feel confident about who they are. So with that plan, you know, we know places like Goodwill exist, but we're looking to really build out a program that gives people pride in walking into our closet. And allows them, you know, we're asking people, don't just throw stuff in the bag. Give me a shirt that you would wear now.
That's
like,
right.
Don't give me, things
Something
that
with
you don't
holes
want
in it. Right.
Yeah. And what we'll do is we're gonna partner with local dry cleaners, get the stuff dry cleaned, put on a hanger, put over plastic. So when we identify people with those needs, they'll be able to come in, have almost like a shopping experience. And get some of the items that they need to kind of, you know, keep moving forward.
So a couple of questions. That's very awesome. What does KDW stand for?
KDW, my two daughters, so Kayla Destiny Williams and Kelsey Danae Williams. They're the motivation behind it all.
Aww, Dad. And where will the closet be housed?
Yep. So to start, we're just gonna get a storage facility. And what we're going to do is we're going to build out that storage facility with, it's going to look actually like a closet, right? So we'll have shelving, we'll have clothing racks. And basically what we'll do is we'll use that storage space for now to sort, take things out, we'll bring folks in. But the goal, of course, within the next year is to open an actual facility, not only for the clothing closet, but for all the other programming that we're doing through KTWK.
Awesome. And so, of course, we always say that you're stuck with us, right?
Yep.
So you guys know you're stuck with us. We're here to help. We're here to pipeline people into that resource, but also to make sure that you have clothes. And Tamika, if you're watching, don't give my clothes away, because I was supposed to have been coordinating to pick up some clothes for a young lady. We actually have another brother who is, and I always say I Care, so I Car Foundation or I Care Foundation with Rodney Carr. And it's just amazing, like so many men are stepping up and coming to the forefront and doing what needs to be done. So thank you for that. But we're also going to continue to make sure that you have pipelines and resources and the Beehive Connected way of connecting things, making sure that the word gets out. I saw something you posted the other day, and actually Kiana saw it. I'm clearing my throat because not because I'm being petty. Normally when I clear my throat, it's an indication that pettiness is coming. But no, this is just a little phlegm. And so Kiana saw it. Kiana saw it the other day, and I'm gonna call you out on it because I appreciate it. And it was a post you had made about cyclos and how all of us are doing this work here and doing this work here and doing this work here, and how we would be so much more powerful if we were all working together. And I value that so much. I do, because it is easy to do this and just be tunnel vision, right? So, you know, I'm running for city council in my district, right? And so the focus should be in my district, but it's not just my district. It's our district, our communities, our city, our state, us. It has to be more than just local. And I think sometimes without of Steve saying, lift up, it's easy for people just to cyclo. Excuse me, I'm a cough. Thank you.
I'm gonna cover you.
You cover me, girl. Cover me. And so, with that, do you see yourself moving forward, partnering in the city and the state? Like, what does partnership look like?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like collaboration is at the forefront of everything that we do, and it's really to create efficiency. So, I mean, you think about a time like right now, for example, we have, I mean, you probably experience it way more than me, but I mean, there's hundreds of toy drives and gift drives going on at the same time. I mean, we got people who are neighbors who, rather than collaborating and doing something more widespread, are all. And the problem that arises is people get exhausted of giving because they're giving to so many people.
Giving fatigue.
Right.
Yep.
So I mean, in my mind, right, I think first of all that, and again, nothing against giving during this time because it's important, but I think the need exists 365 days a year.
Yes, it does.
So if we figure out a way, right, the same way that we give toys, we need to give books.
Come on.
We need to give uniforms.
Yep.
We need to provide opportunities. We need to give tickets to theater. We need to do these
Art
things all year round.
Yep.
And I think if we approach the issues that we have here in Baltimore with all the great minds and hearts that we have, working on a collaborative front, I think we can solve a lot of these issues rather than kind of putting the ownership completely on politicians and police department, schools. If we were working harder as community, I think we could really see some of the outcomes turn around. So that's always going to be my goal.
That's good.
And everything that I do is no pride. It's not about who gets credit. It's really about just moving the work forward.
So I heard you say two different things. You said if we were working harder as community, but in all honesty, you started with if we were working smarter. Right. And so I'm going to challenge us all, because I'm in a home, we's tired. Like, we working hard. And we have been working hard. I mean, when you know how Facebook does the memories, it shows you, like, it's like, dang. Right. I look back, memories 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, like, baby, no wonder they think I'm in my 40s. We've been working hard. But now it's time for those of us that know we have the reach to work smarter. And so I know one thing that we've been just a proponent of is a citywide calendar. And so not to make this a campaign platform, but one thing I'm pushing towards is citywide calendar, where all communities get to drop what they have going on onto a calendar, where at any given time we can go on and see that there are 7 events happening all across the city of the same nature. And then those people who say, well, wait, we're moving ours to Frankfurt, or Frankfurt's moving theirs to Hamilton, and Hamilton, we can come together, and instead of 7 events, maybe we're having 4, and they are much more meaningful, and then we can also then measure and stay connected to the people that we touch. And so with us, like, you guys have Words Matter. I love that, because I'm going back in high school and saying to my students, words matter, manners matter. Remember those books from years ago? And so we are teaching adult literacy to the parents, but it's not trickling down. So the kids need support. The kids need to know how to cook. But guess what? The parents need to know how to cook as well. Most of the children that I teach are young enough to be all of our biological children.
Wow.
So when you think about, I have 124 children that I touch weekly or every 2 days, because A and B day, and I could be their mother. And I hear, oh no, Miss Rose, I haven't eaten in a day or so. Or my mother told me warm something up. Or my mother doesn't cook. Or what was Thanksgiving like? Oh, well, we went to such and such house because my mom, she doesn't cook. She doesn't cook, or she doesn't know how to. Well, she doesn't know how to. Do you think that we're in a position now where we can bridge community through maybe KTWK Cares or other organizations where we're teaching the children and the adults?
Absolutely. I mean, but again, I think most of those things overlap. So for instance, in order to follow a recipe, you've got to be literate, right? In order to grocery shop efficiently, you've got to be able to manage a budget.
Oh, that's good.
And oftentimes when we talk about financial literacy, we limit ourselves to talking about repairing our credit to be able to buy a home, which are important and foundational skills. But there's much more to financial literacy than just being able to go out and buy a house.
Because then you become house broke, and then because you don't have the skills once you get the house to manage the budget to continue to pay for the house.
Exactly.
I.e., foreclosure happens.
Right.
Or you fix the credit, but you don't know how to budget. So you dig yourself back into the credit
that's right.
issue.
Oh, you don't have discipline to stay out of the credit issues, right?
I mean, so it's kind of about meeting people where they are. I mean, for me personally and individually, I kind of have a passion for younger kids because I think you can catch them early on and really drive some of the results that we're looking for.
What ages when you say younger?
I'm talking 6, 7, 8 years old. I mean, kids should begin to know about money and things like that at that age. Kids should be reading, not just fun things, but news, and history at 6, 7, 8 years old. And I think we can introduce those things, but again, we have to have adults who are comfortable enough to be who can deliver the content.
Or who aren't challenged, like some of what Kiana and I have seen in the We Read, We Lead teaching adults. And I always go back to this one particular student because she was in her 50s and she had 11 grandchildren and 5 biological children, and she was reading at a 4th grade level. She was in one of our first classes.
Had never voted,
had never had a license, had never been able to drive, had never been downtown and been in City Hall. Like some of these things that some of us went on field trips as children and we take for granted, but also could not then have the conversations with her grandchildren about homework or, just some of those, and would be threatened if the 7-year-old knew more than her.
Right. And a lot of that, nothing against, that grandmother, because I think people work with the information that they have available to them. Exactly. So for me, and going to college, it was like I needed to be the first one to graduate from college, and nothing against mom or dad, but that's what. So when I got to college, I didn't know other than that reason why I was there.
Right.
So it wasn't any talk about entrepreneurship or any of those type of things going on. It was about like getting a job, working it. Investing in 401k, but those were all the resources that my mom and dad had available to them. But I think now that we know much more from what we've learned, over the last couple of decades, that we need to use that information collaboratively so that all our kids win. Like, because it's not just different, I call them layers of success outside of our race, but even within our race, we see different pockets of success, but I think success can be more widespread if we work together and try to figure things out.
That's so good.
Yeah.
We all can eat.
We can all eat.
Oh, speaking of food,
We can all eat.
what are we all eating for Christmas?
So
what does Christmas look like in the Williams house?
I'm hoping you wasn't asking me to come on here and tell people not to eat macaroni and cheese.
Oh, I want to know because I make some good macaroni and cheese. No. So what does a traditional Christmas look like in the house of the cook, who's the entrepreneur, who's the philanthropist, who's the dad? What does Christmas look like? What does food look like?
Christmas is typically a seafood dinner. We'll do like a.
We're gonna come in.
I was right there.
Yeah, we do a brunch, which will probably be chicken and waffles, fish and grits. That's that type of situation, and then straight seafood for dinner.
Yeah. All right, straight seafood. Give it to us so we can drool a little.
Yep.
Crab cakes,
crab legs, shrimp, both steamed and fried, lobster tail. No, I ain't say no shrimp.
You said shrimp.
You know I ain't say that. Come on.
He like, don't play his face like that.
You got a highly educated man to your
educated. What high school you go to?
Baltimore Polytechnic Institute.
See, he was good with the buoy, but that other one is questionable. But go ahead. So scrimp and what else?
Lobster tail. I mean, you name it.
Wow, that sounds so delicious. Where do you get your seafood? Do you have a specific vendor or person that you like to purchase from?
I mean, I get to use the wholesalers and distributors that I, buy my product from for my clients. So I'm able to get it at a great price.
It don't sound like you're going to Lexington Market to me.
No,
it's not at all.
Okay. No, it's
no
hard.
food stamp.
It's hard to go in the Lexington Market these days. But I hear it's turning around.
It is. And we met a guy
yesterday.
Yep. Pickett. Hey, Pickett, thank you for showing us. We saw the plan.
Yep.
And they've been, for the last year, getting community engagement and feedback from the communities. And let me tell you what I enjoyed about that presentation yesterday. Most people don't know Lexington Market is a 501c3. And so there is a group of nonprofit organizations. One is a market group, and then Lexington Market itself. So it's a combined 501c3, which means that the public has the right to say what happens to Lexington Market. Okay. And so for years, Kiana and I have been like, well, what do they do, and who pipelines and feeds into, monetarily into their nonprofit organization. And yesterday, the guy actually shared it with us. Like, oh yeah, it's a 501c3, and these are the people, and this is where the money comes from. And so it's taken us these many years to actually get the answer to that. But it's great to see that they're moving towards transparency. Yeah. And so within the next year and a half, you're going to see a expansion in Lexington Market. They're going to build out the parking lot that's on the side. They're going to build over that, and it's going to pretty much look like the R House. And so awesome. It's gonna be very interesting. And then the fresh food vendors will be back.
So what's important though is to make sure that they have at least a few stalls that still have high quality, affordable food for folks who have been visiting that market for
270 years.
Decades. So that's kind of always what you think about. It's on the one hand, it's great that it's gonna be a new, exciting project, but also we gotta assure that people don't get priced out of it. There's some food education for our folks, that's involved with it.
Oh, baby, I asked all the questions. Yeah, and also for that, we will drop the information. There are work groups. So even like as we teach children about fresh food options and purchasing and all of that, we need to have these young people at the table asking the questions that maybe some of the older people are afraid to ask. And so they have 4 or 5 different work groups that you can be on right now to put your opinion at the table to help shape what Lexington Market looks like. Okay. And so I started asking questions about the vendors and how many stalls will there be, and even with the parking lots. Okay, you're going to build over the parking lot, but the parking there is much more inexpensive than parking in one of the garages. Will there be then a relationship, a collaborative relationship with the garage? If I need to go into the market for 30 minutes, I'm not paying $15 for parking. And so those are the conversations that we need to have. But don't try to derail this. We talking about food.
Let's get back to it. Let's do it.
So I asked you out there about Turducken.
Yep.
And you was like, what? You had never heard of it? Honestly.
I never heard of it. But
Kiana, have you ever heard of Turducken?
Turducken? Mm-hmm. It's like a turkey sandwich with cranberry. That's not what turducken is.
I
Googled it, right?
Did you?
And
you looked it up?
I got 2 phones, so
what is
I'm connected to
whatever. This is the connected corner. You ain't more connected than us.
So, Kiana, I don't think you were missing anything. This is like a chicken stuffed in a turkey. So,
Wait, ducking. Don't miss the ducking. Chicken stuffed in a
turkey.
Duck.
And a duck in a turkey.
Yes.
Chicken stuffed
in a duck. Stuffed in a turkey.
That is a
So you
lot
want that or you
of
want
poultry.
seafood?
But turducken, but turducken has been something now for Christmas over the years that is like it's flavorful, whatever. You cut in, you get each poultry, and there's a stuffing or some type in the inside. I'm not that big on poultry. I don't like duck. I don't like the way it tastes.
I like duck.
But I was wondering if it was something that you had either ever prepared or ever been asked to prepare.
Sounds pretty Pikesville-ish.
Oh my goodness! Well, Pikesville-ish. Well, turducken.
You have that at the Pikewood.
At the Pikewood.
Yeah.
So okay,
sure
so
that's
crab
on the menu.
cakes, and then what's your sides? What goes with good crab cakes?
We're gonna have a great salad, right? Great house salad. We'll probably have mac and cheese. We have that every holiday.
I love mac and cheese.
That's one of my favorites.
But we're not real heavy on the carbs.
Okay.
So
Y'all watching your figures?
We keep it light on that side.
Okay. I love me some carbs. You eat, you go right to sleep. Be gone.
You know why?
Because it's carbs.
Yeah, it's carbs.
All right, so let me
All
think.
the stuff you ain't supposed to have.
So do y'all eat pretty healthy, like in your household?
We try. Yep. So what I tell people, first of all, everything is about moderation. I don't ever tell anybody they shouldn't eat any particular thing.
Can we tag Sil Higgins,
Yeah.
who wants me to leave McDonald's alone?
Oh well.
Even though I
That's
only
a
go there
that's a
once a
different-
month.
That's different though. McDonald's.
Moderation, once a
It's
month.
not really food. It's like
It's not really air. We're not really people.
Yeah.
Money isn't really money. I go to my bank account, look at those numbers. That's not really money. It's just numbers. But anyway,
But I'm the expert on food today. Anyway.
you are. So the McDonald's isn't really food. Whatever.
It's not
It's like the
real.
turducken.
You ain't gonna negotiate me out
Right.
of that one.
That was Pikesville-ish. This is Sandtown Winchester-ish.
That is fine.
So how do you, because you do meal prep, right?
Yep.
that was great. What? You
I read your mind. She's sitting so close to me.
Can I
I'm
ask my
literally.
question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank
Because she really was about to ask him.
about
You're sitting too close to me, so I'm getting all your channels.
Oh, my goodness.
I asked about the hat before you did.
Yes, you did.
Go ahead.
Anyway.
I asked about the KTW before you asked what it was. You sitting too close to me.
Okay, I'm gonna move over.
It's a channel.
The meal prep, because I was asking about like the healthy eating in your house. So for the meal preps that you do, and do you have like, I've seen some options like read the emails, but like healthy food options, and then are you able to? This is my personal question, right? This is something I want to ask. Are you able then to get something that's not like on the menu for that week? If it's okay.
Yep. So everything's fully customizable. I mean, we have some clients who commit to monthly meal plans, and for those, based on what their needs are, I mean, we deliver to nursing homes, hospitals, all kinds of things dependent on the needs of folks. So, yeah, we got a lot of people who order right from the menu, but yeah, we have some customized options as well.
Look at that camera and tell people how they can find you if they want to meal prep or purchase a meal or.
Yeah, so I mean, we got a lot of information. We invested a lot of time and resources into our website, so it's not just about you coming on and buying, but it's just a lot of information about all that we're doing, as well as some good resources for you to use at home. But it's KDWcatering.com is the catering side of things, and then KDWcares.org. Go on, subscribe to our newsletter. Follow us. It's where you can donate. It's where you can learn about what we got going on. Speaking of donating, in order for us to do a lot of this work that we're trying to do, we'd be allowed to say that it doesn't require donations from people. So one of the things that we're pushing for 2020 is recurring donations. We're looking for people to kind of commit to the mission and vision of KTWK. So, I mean, you can do as little as $5 a month, and you can do as much as you want. But for us to, lease space and purchase equipment and buy vehicles and all those type of things, in order for us to set a budget that's realistic, we really need some foundation grant money, which Kiana will be talking to you more about, but also the kind-heartedness of folks who are willing to donate and believe in what it is that we're trying to do.
I love that.
Yep.
We should do a KDW phone-a-thon.
Yeah, I'm
We
with
could do
it.
that.
I'm with it.
I know. I heard her say after the campaign. So after the campaign.
Did I say that?
Is that what
Did you
said?
hear? Like you heard her say?
I heard her say it. So in the spring, we can look to do it.
All right.
She was like, here you go, signing up for something else. And so, but it's important for us as entrepreneurs. Like,
Right.
I don't care where I am in the political realm. God called me to be free. He called me to walk in my freedom and my truth. And when I tell people that, they say, what does that mean? It means entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
That means that, you know, and I literally said this to someone tonight. I said, I don't trust anything that man does. So anything man builds for me, I don't trust it. I can only trust the things that God has blessed my hands to build, right? And then through that, he will show you other tribes and other connections that you know that he's also blessed, right? And so we're building out a nation. I can't trust Walmart. Walmart could be bankrupt tomorrow, right? And so I don't put my hope and trust in man unless you're going to donate to KTWs. And if you're going to donate to KTW, I'm going to trust that you're going to send your $5.
All right, I was wondering
Every
where you was
month. You
going
knew I was
with that.
going. You knew I was going. And so unless you trust, I can trust your donation and your pledge. And so it's a little different. But because you are trusting God's vision for your life, we know that the resources are going to come. Sometimes we just got to go out and be creative on how we ask about them, right? And so one thing that I do and I've done and I'll continue to do is I don't have a problem with asking people for money. Hey, my friend is doing such and such and such. I need 10 people to give me $10, you know? And I think that as much as we as black people spend on the wrong things,
Right.
and, you know, not to say that this is like a black people only thing, because white people, we love y'all. We want your money too. Brown people, we love you. We want your money. Beige people, we especially love you. Peach people, hey girl, we want your money. And so we want all money that spends, all currency, right? But in the black community, the black dollar is the most mismanaged and sought after dollar, right? And some of that is because we have been taught to be awesome and amazing consumers. And unfortunately, when it comes to fundraising, we don't always see how it equates our dollar to our reward, right? So I'm giving you something. I may not reap the benefit of what it is I'm giving you. Right. And so the like the what's in it for me is not always there. And so a lot of times nonprofits and black communities struggle with raising funds and leveraging money and building assets and those types of things. So we can commit to helping you get some money. Some money.
Yep. It's needed. It's needed.
It is needed.
But the work is purposeful and it's important.
And the food is good.
I
was worried at first. No offense.
About my food?
Oh, baby. I'm worried about everybody's food I had never tasted first.
Wow. All right. I'm glad you're honest.
I will be. I'm going to keep it 100.
All right.
100. I was like, what we doing? And where is it? And how much is it?
Oh, but you did my birthday.
Oh, baby.
That was your first time.
Yeah.
When I did the
And the private dining event.
Yeah.
But the thing is, so you're a person. See,
I looked down.
This is what I struggle with, right? You're a person who go to McDonald's. You said once a month. Right?
Once a month.
She go to McDonald's.
You go to McDonald's, but you was worried about my food.
Well, let me be honest. Let's talk about that. Because my opinion, what I'm about to say, represents somebody somewhere, right? 67% of black America.
Bring it.
McDonald's is consistently consistent in how they taste. And so I can go to McDonald's in Philly, I can go to McDonald's in New York, I can go to McDonald's in Florida, and them fries going to hit the same. Right. It's what it's going to hit the same, right? Okay. Especially like 12 o'clock in the morning, it's been a long night. It's going to hit the same. And so what happens is we have developed a palate for what that tastes like. And so as long as they're hot and they got some salt on them, we're going to be okay with. Also, I'm going to spend $2, and if I'm dissatisfied, it's a $2 experience. Black people always like, well, I'm gonna spend $50. I don't even know. And I was one of those people, just to be honest, right? Until I realized, oh, this is Steve I know from Bowie and and Tiffany's husband, and Erica's gonna be there, and I'm going for her birthday. And so honestly, what sold me was the experience, not you, right? And I'm like, all right, well, even if the food is raggedy, I'm going with Kiana for her birthday. And then I got there, and the experience was dope. Yeah. And the food was not raggedy, because I wouldn't have come back. I wouldn't have come back. I came back several times, and I've been eating it ever since. And if you had food in your pocket, I was real nasty eating out your pocket. But there is a mindset that we have to address. Yeah. Yes. We have to first address it, and then we have to shift.
That's right. So I'm glad you were honest about it.
I'm gonna be honest
because in my opinion, I think we do that far too often.
Yes, we do.
I think in order for black businesses to thrive, black businesses employ other black people, right, and contribute to the black economy. we should go into supporting those businesses with a positive mindset. Let them screw up. If they screw up, then you can feel the way that you feel. But I think we got to go in with an open mind and then at least trying to support these businesses, because I think it matters for more reasons than we kind of give it credit to. It's not. I'm gonna be fine. All right. I've had plenty of jobs, and if I ever got to go back to a job, I can do that.
Don't do it.
But the young men that I employ and that type of thing might not have opportunity if I'm not giving it to them. Right. So it's not about me. So don't get caught up in me. When I say me, I'm talking black entrepreneurs, not Steve Williams. Don't get caught up on, can I trust what that person does or not? Right. Just give that person an opportunity to prove that they can do it.
Right. But some of it again is people have to understand value. Yes. And so, for instance, we'll go to Fleming's. You remember Fleming's was the thing? Before go they shower or whatever, because it's like, it's the rave and you know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. I had several salty mamas is what I call it, because you see all the good not wifey per se, not her, but all of the different baby mamas cooking on Instagram, and I'll deliver your food, and you know, your nachos are banging, and all of these different things. And I had several bad experiences, and not with those specific people because they my peoples, but just understand that like this craze had kind of sprung out, because this was years ago. This was what, 3 years ago?
My 40. Oh my God, was that my 41st birthday?
That was our 41st birthday. So that was 3 years ago.
I wasn't going to ask you how long ago that was.
That was 3 years ago.
Put you on the spot.
Yeah, she old, we know.
Yeah, that was my 40.
So she's 44 now. So that was 3 years ago, right? And so my mindset, that means I also was only 32. Mm-hmm. And so we were in a different place because you had the emergence of all of these online, Instagram, food people. All of a sudden everybody's a chef because you make one Alfredo and put crab meat on it. And so it was a tough time. And it's like, look, I don't have a whole bunch of $50 to keep putting out because I had done that and had salty mamas. Like, this is disgusting.
Is that the name of the place?
No, but that's what I call her food.
Okay.
I call her food salty mamas.
I ain't even going to ask.
Right. I was like, I hope
she knew who she is. She didn't block me several times.
Oh my goodness.
Because it doesn't mean it's not about black dollars, white dollars, or black food or white food. At this point, it's about quality, right? And so often what we hear, because we coach entrepreneurs and then we coach consumers, is black businesses, they don't want to receive the feedback and things like that. So even the fact that you would stay open and say, well, thank you, Tori, for being honest that you didn't like my food.
And I think that's part of it. I know for me, I find myself defending black businesses often. And probably because I come from the perspective of an entrepreneur. However, I'm an entrepreneur that provides service and not product. And so even for me as an entrepreneur that provides service as opposed to a product, I'm still sometimes like, I hope this product is good, well, I hope my t-shirt don't shrink, it's not going to do whatever. But I'm also always very eager to support. And so if I'm going to support, I'm going to support. And I just support just because. And I think I just support just because I am a small black-owned business myself and an entrepreneur. But for those family and friends of mine who are not, a lot of times when I am, because that's how even we got there, it's like, oh, they're doing this. I'm always sending out, let's do this, to support, and let's do that. And I get the, well, who is that? Well, why is this? But girl, you spent $25 to go to a raggedy party that provided no food.
Right.
$20 more, you're going to get this experience. And so it's like convincing people that you want an experience.
Right.
And what it comes with. It's just crazy.
I agree with that completely. I think what I would add, though, is when we had this conversation about black businesses, we do it like in a vacuum. Like, I don't shop at places like Walmart and all these other places because to me, those are, I don't feel like they are high quality service. All the things that we complain about as far as a black business, we don't hold other businesses to the
Oh, baby, I do. I've been removed from.
I just mean collective.
Oh, but I've been removed from several Walmarts in my time.
So I mean, if
that's my picture up on the wall.
If you're gonna tell a black owned business that, hey, you gotta step your level up and you gotta provide a great service. Great. I'm gonna meet that challenge.
Right.
But if you're gonna say that and then walk into a Walmart or whatever the place might be, just add that same level of evaluation on those places too.
Keep the same energy.
The difference is if I come into like Sam, New Vintage by Sam, we love Sam. She co-hosts with us now. if I walk into the boutique and Sam is there and act the fool, I might not get arrested. I go into Walmart, I'm the chick that's on camera, right? And so because of that, I think people are a lot more likely to go off on a small business owner, not realizing like they don't have the same access.
That's correct.
I bet they won't go off at McDonald's no more.
Oh, baby. Not after people get slammed and all that. Anyway, I digress.
Get hit with the blender.
Hit with the blender. Get hit with the blender. But
That was a good warning.
that was a good warning. I think that we do have a cultural shift. And I know that even coming that night, I came for Kiana. I stayed for KTW. You understand? And I've come back several times. I ate like a pig at your craft feast. Told my family, like, y'all missed a good opportunity to just eat and enjoy life, and it was beautiful. I like the fact that everything is very crisp and clean and white and contrasty, and you definitely appealed to our senses, right? But it also required me to grow past my prejudices. And so I hear what you're saying. Like, we all have to step out and grow past our prejudices.
I think it's both. You know, business owners got to earn it, right? We got to present ourselves a certain type of way. We have to invest in marketing, which doesn't mean only posting on Instagram, right? We have to make sure that the products and services that we offer are in line with the needs of the individual consumers.
MBA. You said you're an MBA, right?
Of course. So I mean, you know, it's work to be done. I mean, and so you know what I always say is, just because you can fry chicken or do hair or whatever it might be does not necessarily make you an entrepreneur.
I say it all the time.
She said, girl, she did one wrap, one doobie, and now she's a hairstylist.
Because they have to understand. So you have the professionals or the people. Again, that's where the service comes in. A lot of my clients now have businesses because you come to me, I'm doing your taxes, I'm doing your accounting, and then you have this great idea. But having an idea, I think, Erica's on there with us, I think.
Oh, okay.
Having a great idea doesn't mean you know how to run a business.
Right.
And so often now with Tori and I literally just had a conversation tonight about, friends are people that we know that are in our circle who you're struggling. Like you might have a degree, you may even sometimes having an MBA, like you are now practicing what you learned. But then if you get that particular thing, or sometimes just having the degree, if it doesn't come with practice, then you also don't know exactly what it takes. And when it comes to running a business, there are all kind of facets of running a business.
Right.
And so, because you have an MBA, you have this degree, you need an accountant for real to actually be. Is she on there?
It's so weird. We're seeing a double screen. My ADHD just flared up.
You also have to. Oh wait a minute. Can you hear it?
Does she know we can see her?
Can we? We can see you. Yeah, and we can hear you.
Yes, hit the X, Kiana, just in case we don't want to see nothing crazy, girl. Yeah. And so,
oh my goodness,
that is so funny.
Yeah, and so there are different facets to it, and so if you are a chef, don't try to be your accountant too, unless you know how to be an accountant.
Yep. Yes.
There's marketing. There are all these different things that you sometimes need those specialists to come in and help you with, and there's strategic planning. And a lot of people don't know how to do those things. So great, you have an idea, you want to start a business, make sure you have your table around you to really help and make sure you can sustain it.
And I think the only way to get there is to have a plan, right? I mean, because some folks, they go into it and it's really just a side hustle, which is fine, because if all you want to do is supplement your income and keep it and contain it to a way that you can still do your full time and manage that, is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, if you do have a growth model for your business, it's no way that you can do it all yourself. And there's going to be a lot of investments that you need to make, throughout the way.
The plan is important. So 2 things. I'm not sick. This is asthma. And so don't be blaming me if you get sick later on. And then the second thing is we've had to kind of sidestep from our business, right? So as the founders of Beehive Connected Group, the services that we were providing to entrepreneurs and small business owners, and we say it that way because we understand that there is something called entrepreneurship, right? Entrepreneurship is like this. Oh, I'm baking cakes. I'm selling cakes. Oh, a squirrel. Now I'm working with squirrels. Ooh, a plane. Now I'm building a plane, right? And so as an entrepreneur, it is, I got an idea. It could make me money. There definitely may not always be a plan. there is not a necessarily even a market need or market value identified with my idea, right? Or associated to the idea. When we talk about like scale and projections, entrepreneurship, that's not necessarily that thing, right? People think because they're out here hustling and you're an entrepreneur. Some people are small business owners. You could be a small business in your own entity, right? You provide a service versus a product. And so We Have Connected Group has taken somewhat of a step left to the campaign. Thank you, Kiana. I know it's been tough. And it has been tough. But we get these awesome opportunities still to coach and to mentor entrepreneurs who think that they have small businesses and they are putting themselves in debt. And you're not a small business owner. You are an entrepreneur who is working this idea. Right. And the idea is bringing you revenue. But you still have a full-time job or several other jobs or several other ideas. And I think it's okay to operate in the essence of what that looks like. You know, I think it was it Henada that talked about the MBAs and MBS and businesses being modeled or measured on employees. You ain't a business for real, according to the state.
Right. You start sending them W-2s.
Them W-2s, maybe a W-4 or so, until you start hiring, 1099 something, until you start hiring folks.
Some contractors, some employees.
Something. You got a handbook.
That's absolutely when it started changing for me. I mean, when, you know, not just because I'm writing a check every week, or ADP is writing or sending a direct deposit every week, but for me, you know, I got a great friend of over 25 years who left his job to come, you know, work with me, right? So the responsibility that comes with that, to make sure that man eats. So it ain't even about, you know, me, right? It's about making sure that the kids that, you know, work with me can see me as an example. And if I fail, damn, what does that do to them? Or the man who done left his job and took the biggest risk that I believe anybody's ever taken for me, right, to come help me as this thing was exploding and I didn't have the capacity, you know, to move in the direction that I needed to move, and he just stopped everything. I could never let him down.
You say capacity? Come on, capacity.
So it's not just about writing the check. The check, that part easy.
Right.
You know, but it's really assuring that the lives of the people can be sustained and they can thrive. You know, not just, you know, I mean, the kids that come in and work for me with no experience and never did nothing, they make $15 an hour. They're not fighting for 15. They're gonna come in and be treated. They're gonna,
somebody understand what's happening.
Come on, I mean, they're not fighting for 15.
They're gonna learn why they're there, and if they get to wherever they get to life and never want to be in the food service industry, there are several other things they're gonna learn while they banging with me about life.
Come on.
And that's what I pride myself on.
I know. I feel pretty Listen, we gotta go. But this has been so insightful.
Yes.
This has truly been news and resources you can actually use. And I was sitting here thinking, like, you know what? You so deep. We're going to just.
But you're gonna play some Jeezy though, right?
Oh yeah, I love Jeezy. We're gonna have to just.
Okay, we want Jeezy.
But we're gonna have to just find somebody who all they do is cook. Who ain't so deep.
All right, my bad.
But no, this was good. Let me tell you what's funny. Kiana and I, we pray. Y'all, everybody knows we pray. We pray, we ask God to show us who is going to add the value that our community could actually use, right? And so I was joking with you about the food, and come on, y'all tell us about your recipes and all that. This has been food for the soul.
Yeah.
And you are always welcome back here.
I appreciate
Next
it.
time, bring the crab cake.
Yeah, we gotta do. We do taste test.
Yeah, next time
and then we can
so
talk
now we got the deep stuff out the way. Next time we can eat.
And you can even talk about healthier food options and that
all right,
type of thing.
we can do that. If I would have came with only the food though, then that's all. I would have been labeled as the food guy.
I'm trying to tell you.
I do more than fried chicken.
Darn it. Can you also like just start sprinkling like craisins into stuff? I like cranberries.
Yeah.
You like cranberries too?
Yeah, I do like cranberries.
And my district, our community has some of the highest numbers for diabetes, hypertension, right? So you know, we're always talking about ways to feed people and give better food options.
Yep.
And so we're gonna stick real close to you. We gotta see how we can get a
collaboration.
KTW.
I'm with it.
No, not even that. We're going to see how we can get a KTW in a 21217, like a permanent fixture.
All right.
Like a second location.
Let's do it.
I'm so with it.
Let's do it.
We're going to talk.
Yeah.
So guys, listen, how you follow Steve? Find him on Facebook. We tagged him here at Steve Williams. Also, what's your Instagram, and give us all the stuff.
Everything for the business is KTW Catering and KTWK. So
Can you spell catering for us? Phonetically.
CATERING.
I love that.
Yeah.
CATERI.
There it is. KTWK. You need me to spell cares too, or you got
Yes.
that?
No, come on.
CARES.
Come on, y'all. Don't take nothing for
All right.
granted. In Baltimore, most adults read at a 4th grade level.
Okay. We're gonna fix that too.
We're going to fix that too. So, guys, it has been an awesome and amazing show. Do you have anything to say on this?
I'm just happy.
No.
It was a really good show. I thank you
Great
so
show.
much for coming on.
This
And
was
then
dope.
we're
I
going to set
appreciate
up
it.
for the next time we're going to taste
Yes,
and
it is
eat
something in my
while
eye
we-
now,
while
though.
we
I
are
said
on
crab
the-
cake. My eyes started jumping. Okay. That's 'cause
And I'm
hungry.
definitely going to get with doing the food prep. I keep saying that. Like, I joke with everybody about doing my food prep for me, but I definitely need to start eating better.
Whenever you're ready.
I just need to start eating. Look at these little scrawny. I'm like losing weight.
I know. She the only one. Like, I'm not losing any weight on this case. I'm confused.
I'm like the only
I feel
person
like
losing weight
it's,
on the campaign team. It's
you know
crazy.
how
and
it's,
she eating at McDonald's.
right.
Once a
What's
month.
going on?
I'm like, it's just crazy to me. I don't understand. I feel like we're in that how people, what is it, the sensitivity pregnancy, where the spouse, the other person gains weight or something. It's
I'm
like
not
she,
pregnant, though.
no, she's not pregnant. And I'm not pregnant. not
Hey,
pregnant.
Eric. His business is KTW Catering and KTW Cares. It's Steve Williams, and he is an amazing cook, an amazing philanthropist, amazing community servant, husband, father, superhero. He's about to write a book. That's what God said.
Hey, let's do it. I'll do that too.
Yeah. Okay.
Somebody else has
follow
to
him.
type though. I'm not.
That's
I
cool.
don't
You
type.
can dictate with your mouth. But go ahead.
Sure
So
can.
You. Oh yeah, she was just talking
Yeah,
about her
like
gaining
I'm
the
just
weight.
picking up, she losing it, and it's like coming over here.
Listen,
Like,
she found what I lost.
Yeah.
It is so crazy. This is the smallest I have been in years. The fullest.
The
you've
fullest,
been. Yeah.
the fluffiest.
The fluffiest.
Hey.
And
Cut back on the salt, which is not just if you're putting it on your food, but if you're eating frozen instead of fresh. So fresh, not frozen. Stay away from the cans, the boxes,
we ain't doing all that. I cook all the time.
and portion control.
And she don't eat a whole bunch. I just don't know what's happening. We hit doors all the time. We in a community. I'm going like this, and Kiki's going like this as well. In a different way. All right, so guys, it's been real. Listen, take next Tuesday and love on your family. Hug on somebody. Be kind to somebody. Be kind to somebody. It's going to be Christmas Eve next Tuesday, so we won't be here. But feel free to send us messages on Facebook. Drop things on Beehive Connected Group. We want to hear from you. This has been Steve Williams. He's been amazing. I'm Tori Rose, and you can follow me at elect_Tori_Rose or Tori Rose the Connector. How can we find you?
Kiana B. Jones.
Hey girl, that
Facebook.
B is for beautiful girl.
Yes, it is. Facebook, Twitter, and what's that link? Instagram.
And Instagram.
And we need y'all to follow Beehive Connector Group on IG, because we'll still soon be moving to you commenting and doing your questions, and we're going to take it from the Instagram because it'll be much easier to follow. And so we need y'all to follow Beehive Connector Group on IG.
Yes, and hopefully we can get my little brother. My little brother was just signed to Sony recently, so hopefully we can get him on early next year. So I just thought about him. Love y'all. Be good to each other. Be good to yourself, and of course, be good to your favorite cooks.
All right,
this is the
y'all.
Connected Corner. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you
thank
guys
you.
in 2 Tuesdays.
Yes.
Come party with us.
See ya. Good night. Peace.
Peace. I want chicken. It's so late.